Okay, I wanted to take a second to make a quick video. I have my bees have swarmed, and I've set up a box under it. I'm going to kind of get a little bit closer. You can see the big swarm right there, and I'm going to knock that down into the 10 frame box below, and going to try to set up this video to where you can see that happen. Now the bees hopefully will make their way inside that box, and the rest of them that are on that tree, I'll check that in a minute, will make their way inside their new hive. Well, good morning everybody. This is Jason Murphy here with my son Ben. Behind us we have Miss Tina Copeland. She's also a beekeeper, and behind her we have Doug Shady with his twin sister Rebecca and mom Sandra, and we're all going down to McMinnville to this hive that's been established for 4 or 5 years from what we've been told, and it's about 20 feet up off the ground, which is going to make it challenging. We have our construction guy, I'll introduce you to him later, JD Wooten, and JD is going to build us a platform to work off of, and we're going to open up that wall and hopefully find a big old hive of bees and get them removed. We have all of our bee equipment in the back here, from ladders to bee suits to deep frames to everything you can imagine. Our catch buckets for all the bees, and looking forward to having a good day of it. So we'll be back here in a little bit. So welcome everybody. We're down here in McMinnville at this apartment complex, and my buddy JD, he's right behind you. Go ahead and scroll over to JD back there, and his crew. Noah is here, and then I have some beekeepers that I'll introduce a little bit more along the way that are here to help. JD has built a platform for us. We're about, well, to this point, about 12 feet or so off the ground, and then we got another 8 feet or so, 10 feet up here to where the bees are. And Ben's going to go ahead and get them smoked. We're going to start taking off these slats and get to these bees and find out what we're dealing with. So I'm going to grab some tools and we'll be right back. Oh, yeah. Now we're cooking. Okay.
Can you reach that top handle?
Good.
If you move it over to that nail, where's that nail?
Wow! Oh my God! That is so cool!
You want to take some of this here?
Oh man, if it's all contained right there, we'll be so good.
You mean?
See all them leaves in there.
20, well, 10 or 15 hive beetles just on this one board. First off, I do want to thank Rebecca Shady. She is doing an awesome job as my camera person, and we can see the hive up in there. And what we don't know is if or how far it goes in. So there's a pretty good cavity up there. I got bees all over me, but that's okay. Go fly away, girls. Okay. So Rebecca, go ahead and get in the camera. I'm going to get a close up. So just walk straight. Beautiful. And we're going to get a good shot up in here of these bees. So it is a pretty deep cavity. That's a good solid 1 foot cavity up in there. And again, what I don't know is if they're going that way inside. However, if the family is nice enough, they'll let us go in and take a picture of their ceiling, which we will attach where there's some honey stains coming through their ceiling through their drywall. Okay, but we're gonna get started removing this and hand the filming back over to the expert. Thank you, Rebecca. We're gonna take this one step at a time and vacuum up the bees that I can see and cut out and preserve whatever comb up here is viable and or worthy, meaning if it has brood, does it have honey, does it have pollen, does it have resources that the bees will need. Everything else, just comb they can build out. We'll save all of that, by the way. That's the one thing I didn't bring, is I wanted to have a big trash bag for comb that we just want to save. So if you happen to have a trash bag or can get one, that would be great. So, okay, so I just discovered something. I'm going to turn my camera the right way. I discovered something right here. So this is the outside of the building, the apartment complex, and right here used to be a hive that someone has removed in the past. So the bees just moved right over here. So I don't think they got the queen the last time, but this gives me an idea that the bees can go in there fairly deep, and that's what I'm expecting here. This cavity goes straight through another 2 or 3 feet, back. You guys are actually going to be able to see a little bit better than I am because I'm holding this up. By the way, to let you see my predicament, I'm on a platform that we've made and I'm about 20-25 feet off the ground here. So, okay, we're going to get to it. Calm you down, not aggravate you. They like gotten a little bit of a flurry there. Okay, just set that, give that back to Doug, and so it can stay out of our face. And let's start sucking up bees. So here we are. I'm letting Douglas Shady do a little bit of vacuuming right now. Ben is ever the helper and doing a lot. I want to thank my camera person right down here. This is Rebecca Shady. And then her mom Sandra here for moral support. And then Tina Copeland has been helping a lot, brought a lot of good supplies for me and is helping. Now we're going to get her up there in a little bit. And right inside here you can see the family watching as we try to get rid of this hive. And so we're going to keep vacuuming and start removing hive here in a little bit. Inside the home, just outside, you can see them vacuuming the hive right there. The residents have been watching and even saw me get stung on the thumb. No big deal, but I wanted to point this out. If you can see that discoloration, I'm 99% sure that that is honey that has seeped through their drywall. So I just wanted to get a picture of that as we continue to work back to the outside. We think that we have about a third of this barrel full of bees. We're going to put a few sticks in there to give them something to climb on and hopefully separate themselves a little bit. I'm going to tap it down. Ben is going to put some sticks down in there, and then we're going to throw the shirt over it. Some bees will very possibly get out, but not a big deal. And then we're going to rubber band that shirt. This is a part that I haven't seen on many other people's videos that they don't show, and we're going to switch out this lid for another 5-gallon bucket so that we can keep sucking. So here we go. Put some sticks down in there. There's not as many bees in here as I thought there would be. I'll save that stick for next time. So we probably will put more bees in there. Most the bees that we caught down in there, and we're going to open up another bucket, but that way they can breathe and we'll keep going. Sandra, thank you. Here you go, Ben, Doug, sorry. You got to keep calling you my son's name. Take that as a compliment because I love my sons. Ben, right behind you, grab that. Well, yeah, just grab it by the, oh, there you go. There's no way around not losing bees. I'm going to set the bee sweep over there.
Or your hat is just covered in honey and bees that stuck to it.
Right. It's not there. Okay, so we're finding this is very challenging to remove this hive because it's up above us and all this honey is dripping down. There is a lot of honey, there's a lot of capped honey. This next piece we're actually going to try to put into a frame, and we're trying to smoke the bees to keep them back a little bit away from where we're trying to work. So that's where we're at so far. We're going to infuse still pictures as to our progress of this whole situation. Thank you very much, and thank you, Rebecca, for recording while you have bees in your hair. That's amazing. What a professional. Thank you. we're making some pretty good progress here. I'm gonna see if I can turn on my light. They're not gonna like this, but you can see I've cut out a lot of this cavity. Again, in the past, there's been beehives here. You can see the comb way back there. Someone cut out before I came around. And we also have this cavity that's been cut out in the past. But this one, still lots of bees down in there, making good progress. And we're gonna keep working right along. So we have our bee vacuum going. We got our bee helpers. We got Douglas, Shady, Ben Murphy down there. He's putting a piece of brood in a deep frame. And then we have our biggest bee victim was back there with the white on her top of her head. That's Miss Rebecca that got a pretty good sting on her lip. But those things happen. So we're gonna get back to putting this together. I wish I could show you piece by piece how we're doing it, but it's just too tight of a space. Again, we're about 20 feet up in the air trying to do this. Okay, we'll be back. So, we actually moved inside the home at this point because the beehive was farther than my arms could reach in this crawl space, if you will, between the upstairs and the downstairs. It's about a foot to 14 inches tall and about 12 to 14 inches wide, but these crawl spaces, or whatever it's called, but the separation between the two, the top upstairs and the downstairs, goes the entire length of the home. And I was able to see in this first cavity where the hive had been removed once already, that there was comb a good 8 feet down inside of this. So we can see that there's honey stains all the way over to here, which is probably a good 4 to 5 feet from the outside. And I don't know how much farther the hive goes, but we're going to go ahead and cut out the drywall. The family has evacuated for the evening, and they're going to spend the night elsewhere. We got drop cloth down, and we're going to cut away the drywall and remove the comb as quickly and safely as we can and get these girls to their new home. We'll be back with more pictures. Doug, pop quiz. This is your homeschooling at work. I know you're out of high school, but so consider this college. What are you observing? What can you see that is giving us some information here? Is anything standing out to you?
That's old, or that's newer. So we're getting close to the end.
Hey everybody, we finally finished up the apartment beehive. We estimate somewhere between 7 and 8 cubic feet of beehive was in that apartment complex. Here are some of the honey comb that have we rendered out of it. We're going to have quite a bit of wax. We have honey dripping there into that bottle. This is wax that's been going through this colander. And that, my friends, is about 6 pounds, no, strike that, 6 gallons of honey that's in there. You can see some of the remnants of wax has floated to the top, but that is mostly honey right there. So stay tuned, and I'm going to show you where the bees are now. Take care. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick follow-up kind of segment, or this is really the closing segment to the big apartment complex beehive, and wanted to let you all know that we got them home the other night. It was dark and the bees were ornery, and we ended up getting a few stings, but it ended up being a very successful ending of the day, of a very long day. It took about 12 hours to get that hive completely removed and to its new home. It's about 45 minutes away from where we're at now, by the way. But this is the farm where half of my apiary is, with my friends Jonathan and Stephanie, and they actually own half of all the bee equipment and half of the bees. So these are 2 swarms over here. You can see the bees are pretty active right now. These are 2 swarms that came off of our hives over at my house. And this one, this double-decker here, it's got about 14, 15 different frames of brood and honey in it from their own hive, and we put some foundation in there for the rest, but that is their new home. But so with all that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching. I just really appreciate it. You all have a blessed day, and go with God. Take care.